Okay, guys. So, real quickly, I just want to talk real quickly about um, some things. I got. You remember how my money was locked on me on the weekend? It was locked. I made a previous video. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that video. Um, and I'd like to talk real quickly. I'm just gonna make a little short video. I don't have much time to be making a big long video, but I'm gonna make a real short video about that real quick. Um, I got my money unlocked. They they said that I'd entered the wrong PIN number. So I entered the wrong PIN number at the register, and they said I did it not once, but they said I did it. Let's see. I think I retried. I think I retried my card, and I redid my card twice. I tried it twice, and they said, "Oh, you entered the wrong PIN number," and that was twice. So then I left there because I was with Woodforest and went straight to the ATM there in the thing. I said, "Hold on a minute." She said, "Oh, you're fine, honey. Go ahead," because there's nobody in line. And I went over to the ATM, and I tried to get my money out there. It said declined. It was locked. The I called the bank. I said, look. Well, I called the bank, tried to get something done. It says for security reasons we cannot access your account. So basically, what they did was they tried to throw it back off on me. And I don't know if you remember many years ago, back whenever there was a bank called NCNB, and basically. You may not have ever knew this bank because you might not have been in North Carolina whenever Bank of America was becoming Bank of America. But previous to that, there was a bank here called NCNB. And NCNB is Bank of America, was Bank of America. It was just starting out in North Carolina at that time in the 1990s. It come here in 1991, and it was starting out and it was becoming that. So I don't think it actually become Bank of America until 2016, until not 2016, until 1997 or 98. And so my very first banking account was with Bank of America, was NCNB. And back then, man, they were awesome. They were like the old First Union. Uh, you may have never knew First Union, but First Union was something that merged with Wachovia, and then Wachovia merged with Wells Fargo. Nowadays, you got Wells Fargo instead of First Union. But First Union back in the day was really cool. I had Bank of America for the longest time, and I was with NCB for the longest time, and then that's when I got my PIN number, was with them. And I went up there and tried to withdraw $1,500, and I took some more money out. And I was younger, and I was saving my money. I was just real stable with my cash, and I'd go buy things to modify my car. So basically, they would try to say they called me up, and they tried asking me, why are you withdrawing so much money? They give me such a hard time trying to withdraw my own money. You try to take $1,500 out of their bank or $1,200 out of their bank. And we're talking about a lot of money back then. So $1,200 back then, in the let's say 1999, year 2000, that was really a lot of cash back then. $1,200. That'd be like 2,500 now. So you walk in there and try to take that out, and they would act like you're a freaking criminal for trying to take out your own money. So I just left I left Bank of America. Me and Bank of America, we said goodbye, and I haven't been back with them in 20 years. Um, well, 25 years now. And I left them and I went to First Union. So then I was with First Union, and then they started to get real junky and crummy. So then I went to Wachovia. And then First Union lost her butt because of this, $8 fee to go see the bank, the person in the bank could charge $5 and $8 fees, and you go in there, put your cash, take a check, put it in the physical in the bank, and you had to deposit through the ATM. So if you go in there and try to put it physically in the bank, it was a $6 fee, stuff like that. So they tried to fee you to death over every little tiny thing, and they basically become Wachovia. Then Wachovia was doing great. It was a great bank, and then whenever they kind of merged the First Union, they sort of went junky, and there you go. So then Wachovia lost its butt because they become junk. Well, they were doing okay actually. I stayed with them for a while, even through some of the thick and thin a little bit, and then they merged with Wells Fargo. And whenever they merged with Wells Fargo, that's when the real junk started happening. It started being a bunch of junk started happening again. So then I left there and I went to BB&T, and So BB&T was a good bank. It really was a good bank, and I can't remember why I left there. I think it was because of something to do with. It was really it was nothing to do with anything that they did. It was all. Oh no, wait a minute. I remember why I left BB&T. It was a job loss. I had a job loss, and I just wasn't able to have enough money in my account to keep an account open. So, instead of playing this game of this and that, I just went ahead and said, okay, whatever check I'm going to get, I'm just going to take it to the bank and I'm going to go get it cashed at the bank. So that's what I did. I just went and got my money cashed at the bank. So, because really I was on unemployment. I was too poor to try to keep something open. So, I just said, forget it. I'm not going to sit here and play this game with you guys. Because this was around 2006, the 2008 and 9 crisis and stuff like that. This is a period of time when we were in the Great Recession. So in the Great Recession, everybody was really poor. Everybody lost their butt, no money. And then finally, I went to First Citizens. That was a great bank. First Citizens was a great bank. It's still a great bank to this day. I still recommend First Citizens. My stepdad has them. Great bank. So finally, I don't know. I think I went in there and I asked them to do something for me one time. I think I tried to get something done on credit, and they said no. So, and I don't blame them for that, but I just decided, hey, since you're my bank and you won't do nothing for me, and you won't give me no kind of loan on this thing, they said they saw one little spot on my credit, one little spot, and it stopped them from refinancing my car I had at the time. And I just said, forget it, I'm done. So I walked away from that, and then I just went ahead and, I walked away from that, and I'm kind of glad they didn't refinance that car. That car was a piece of junk. So I basically, got rid of that car, sold that car off, and got rid of it. Basically I just got what I could get out of it and got rid of that car. It's a piece of junk. But anyway, then I went over to Woodforest and have been at Woodforest ever since then. So long story short, my whole banking history in a short period of time. So now what I did was, because the bank did that. When banks start doing this sort of stuff, and you start then seeing them get a little wild, where it's like, I didn't do shit. What in the world's going on? Pardon French, but it's like, I didn't do nothing, man. Why are you shutting down my bank when I haven't done anything? Well, now I just decided to go over to a credit union, members credit union. I mean, because uh, it's been quite some time. But I used to have an old checking account through a credit union a long time ago, and I did that to build up a good relationship. No, I had a savings account through a credit union a long time ago, and I did that to build up a good relationship with the credit union. My daddy was with that credit union, so I did that, and then I shut it down because really, there again, lack of money, and then I had it along with BB&T. But then, like I said, there again, lack of money, and just the economy was falling apart. So I went to Members Credit Union, and I got it pulled up here, what places they're in. Um, I don't know if this would quite go for everybody and where they're at, but I don't know if this goes for everybody where they're at. But I pulled it up. Um, Eligibility. Well, I had it here. Uh, don't want to make a long video out of this because I really got to get my own stuff done too. But checking accounts. Boy, if you don't quit. My dog over there doing this little thing. So alright, so they're in Lenoir, Hope Mills, Thomasville, Elkin, High Point, Val. So I'm gonna repeat that again. Lenoir, Hope Mills, Thomasville, Elkin, High Point, Valdez, Morgan, Lumberton, Lincoln, Hickory, Newton, Gastonia. So if you live in, let's say, Burke County, Caldwell County, Lincoln County, because there are in Lincoln, you live down around Gastonia, High Point area, a place like that, you can get in there with them. They're pretty cool. So I just that's what I decided to do because I think if we're with any big bank or any kind of bank that's loaning our money for profit, because what a credit union does is they don't loan your money for profit. What a credit union does is any kind of money they get back, they take and they put it back towards the members, or they basically take and put it back towards the community, which they're doing too. They're doing both, putting it back towards the members, and they're putting it back to give better, higher rates, give more yield rates towards the members. But they're also doing it as a way to give um, you more money back to give back to the community. So they give the money back to the community also. That's a good thing. So you might want to look into a credit union, and if you're going to do something, you could always just look into. Like I said, my stepdad's not ever had no trouble. I never had no trouble out of First Citizen. They were a good bank for me, and then Truist was a good bank, and I was tempted to go through them. There's another one I found, but I'm not exactly sure if it's in your area. But there's a one that I found that was called Skyline National Bank, and it seemed to have a pretty good rating. It looked like a pretty good bank. And now I used to have all these figured out, like Alley and all them, but I used to know which was the best banks. But since all this bad car loans and everything else, and all these people have been losing all these cars, I really don't know exactly who the best bank to tell you to go to is. But this Skyline National Bank look like it's pretty cool. Everybody says pretty good things about them. They have great ratings and everything else. So, I mean, for me, that bank is only in, let's see, it's in Hudson and it's up in the Hickory area. Um, yeah, they got one in Hudson and the Hickory area, and then I don't know. They got one in Lenoir too. So okay, so there's more. Okay, so we got one in Lenoir. We've got one in Hudson, and then we got two in the Hickory area. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find any more. Yeah, there's more. There's more. Seems like they're all over the place. So if you look in your area, there's some. Let's see, it's showing some up around. Yeah, it's showing more of these things all over the place. More Skyline banks. They're not that many though. There's definitely a limit to how many Skyline National banks there are, and that's more of in my area. That's more of a my area type thing. So I'll pull up to see how many Skyline National banks there really are. Maybe I can find something else here about it. They say they've been banking for 125 years, so that's actually tells you a lot about a bank. Uh, U.S. bank locations. Yeah, it says that tells you a lot about a bank. Whenever a bank has been in business for 125 years, I mean, it looks like it's a bit more of a North Carolina bank. So maybe you should check out maybe more of a local regional bank, maybe a local little bank. BB&T Truist used to be nothing but a regional bank. They might still be a regional bank, but I think they've got expanded out more. So check them out. Truist, check out them. Look around and try to make sure that you don't get effed, so to speak. And there's another thing too, is like Chime. A lot of people was talking about Chime, and Chime actually has been caught up in a bunch of fraud, a bunch of stuff, and they basically closed people's account, and they didn't give the money back. They closed the account, and any place that would close your account would send you your money, but they didn't give you your money. Any money that once they close your account, any money that's in your account, you lose. So they did that because they got fined $4 million by the government. Well, they said that's not coming out of their pocket, so they just stole it from the regular people. So think about that. Stay away from Chime, and stay away from all those other banks. Stay away from the big banks like BB&T. I could tell you that I can tell you my mama has had good business with Wells Fargo when I've tried to talk to her out of getting out of Wells Fargo, but I understand the reasons for staying there because they've done her really well. But for the average person, I don't know how well they do. Because what she does is she goes up there and she takes her money out and she keeps just the bare minimum amount in there to keep it open, and then she takes all her money out and spends it. So she lives on a budget, and she takes all her money out and spends it while all the big amount of money stays in my stepdad's account over in First Citizens. If you get my drift, so her account's just like just the revolving door, and that I guess that works for Wells Fargo. Anyway, be good at it, take it easy, and think about what I just said, man. But anyway, I just wanted to update you on that members credit. I went to members credit union, and I'm just going to go ahead and get out of these big banks and stuff like that. I'm worried about the banking industry real bad. It's getting pretty bad out there. It's getting ready to start being dog eat dog again.